Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Mr. JP and the game is Out of Ore. Thank you everyone for joining me. Big thank you to all the people who are adding their subscriptions to the list. Loving that. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. It is free. You can mute me if you don't like all the video updates. It's up to you. So yeah, and big thanks to all the new viewers that are coming in as well. We got Australia, we got America, we got Spain, France, Germany. I think there's a few from Vietnam and then Singapore I've seen as well. There's a few out there. So yeah, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Really do. Really do. So yeah, not much going on up here in my map at the moment, but I have changed how my machinery works and I have had a little disaster in the first filming of this version of this video, which we'll get into when I get down the hill. But yeah, I'm only using 3 of the runs up, so you've got gold, you've got gravel and coal, and then you've got all the rich stuff, because I'm now using trommels. So, just get rid of that. We'll go down the hill a little, get into the roller. And yeah, this area here is where I had the little accident, so I'm altering the way things are working a little bit. I'm just going to put a block in there so I can... You see, this overflowed and it ended up covering this whole area. So I had to come in here and do a bit of manual smoothing. This one also started overflowing, but that was because of a blockage from that one. And I still need to get down there and do some more cleaning out. So before anything else bad news happens, I'm just going to quickly demonstrate how to make sure things don't clog up and do this crazy stuff. As you can see down here, there's a lot of stuff touching this conveyor, and that is a bad thing, because that's what causes the clog. The ground builds up through and you end up with a big problem. So yeah, just by doing that, it should help prevent it. And likewise, just going to go check this one over, because yeah, there's a large supply of rich stuff, but it isn't too badly clogged. I think this one might have been built on a lithium seam anyway. No, it definitely isn't. Because there is a hole there from where I had something built before. So this is all spillage from my accident. Just dig my way out, because I really don't care about the terrain under here. A bit more of it out around it. And then check this one over as well, because I think this one's a running hopper. Yeah, it is. So, put in a viewpoint block. There's something to stand on to look into that hopper and check it's alright. This one looks like it didn't actually fully clog. There's not much stuff in the bottom of it. Or I already got in here and cleaned it out, one or two. So yeah, that's the hoppers dealt with. Okay, on to the meat of the video, which is inverted strip mining, which was going to be the title until I made this graph the last one. So right, inverted strip mining. We just jump out of that machine for a sec. Been a little bit of a change. As you can see from the point of view on the machinery from up here, I have come up a fair few blocks. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I'm 6 blocks up where I've built this floor. So the floor's a 6 block, and as you can see, it's already pretty extensive. Things have got a little bit crazy. Interesting. Alright, so what happened, I detonated hundreds of explosives up here and made a real mess. So, yeah. Just excuse me a sec. So, yeah, as I was saying, sorry before I was so rudely interrupted. Inverted strip mining consists of this. You build a floor below the ceiling height of the layer below, and you just start driving in and cutting stuff out like this into the floor. And because it's built in hollow space, it has a tendency to not clog so easily as the floor below would, which means you can just essentially keep ripping in. And as long as you've done some blasting or something, so there's places to cut into the stonework, you can cut into it rather well, like that. Anything you can't cut into, either manual smooth or get out the explosives is not my normal cure. It seems to do the job quite nicely. But if you're doing this whole sweeping thing, that normally does do the job as well. So, you just sweep out, and I tend to start over by the drain hopper just because it's easier that way, and you can run down your drain hopper and do this and build a small floor and then cut away outwards and cut a new level in a mine. There's a few things that you can do here, so yeah, just cut a load of this stuff out. And as you can see, it's just causing an avalanche of material down into the drain or drift, however you want to refer to the ditch that I'm using to clean all this stuff out into. Could just call it the ditch. The whole method could be known as ditching. But I think ditching already has a meaning. Dumping the mates you gave a lift out for to give a lift home to the new chick you met is one method of ditching. One of the more polite ones. But yeah, so this, as I say, I call it inverted strip mining because you go in underneath and then you take the top out, which is sort of the wrong wrong way of doing things. Excuse me there, frog in the throat. But it is highly effective, as you can see. I'm clearing large areas with the loader here, and large quantities of material are going down into the floor. And once you cut laterally in a little like that, go horizontal, change 90 degrees to the side, and start cutting in. And this spreads the material out going in across the floor, which if you arranged it diagonally like I have, spreads out how it goes in. But if you've got what I call a lateral rig where they all pour out onto the same line into the same conveyor to one machine, this method will overload your equipment and it will be processing for a while. I'm sort of regretting not going bigger on my machinery, but it could still happen. I could do a rebuild, find a better place in the map or something. So yeah, as you can see, the evidence of my last run down here is here in this straight wall that you see. And you just go in at the top, make a cut, start waving the bucket around, and then wave the arm up and down whilst waving the bucket up and down. And that will start a cut eventually. Even if you have to go, you can go in at the bottom and then sweep up. And as long as you keep the bucket fairly level, you should realistically cut. But it's the bucket sweep up and down rather than the boom arm moving that's doing the damage to the wall. And you pause occasionally and let your bucket empty, and once your bucket's empty you can just sort of keep on doing this again. Having an empty bucket can be important if you're trying to cut into pure rock, but if you're trying to do that, get the explosives out, people, or get out an excavator with a ripper on it. If you're working top down, you can use the dozer, of course. That's got the ripper. But explosives are the most mobile and easiest option if you're taking the roof out. I haven't actually tried it with the excavator ripper yet. Maybe I should. Maybe it's the key to everything. Likewise, I should probably try one of the biggest front scoops that I've unlocked now. Maybe that'll be in the next video. So yeah, you can just run along like this, taking stuff out quite happily for not a very long time. It really doesn't take long to cut out a significant amount of the roof here. I went through for about 20 minutes building this floor out to where it sits now, and I'll be able to just go about an hour, 2 hours of gameplay to strip this entire roof out into that floor that I've built. There's probably over 300, 400 conveyors laid out here to give you an idea of the scale. So if you think you're earning too much money, bear in mind that 99 conveyors is a half mil, so 200 conveyors to the mill would be a good way of looking at it. And looked at that way, if you're building massive conveyors across the map and things like that, 100 mil won't go that far. Not if you've got a 5 block wide conveyor. So I got stuck under the edge of the rock there. Might mean that there's a little voxel of rock. Yeah, there is. Just there, little tiny voxel that will not be destroyed. What is wrong with you, voxel? Huh? Fine. And that voxel is gone. So you get occasional little problems like that one. But they're not the biggest thing, as I say. That's what the hand smoothing tool is there for, and it is useful. So I could have laid explosives on it and blown its backside to Kingdom Come, but after my last little interlude with explosives, yeah, 1s and 2s, don't lay them out by the 100. People just don't do it. It's bad, very bad. 1 frame a second for over 90 minutes, and that was the point where I quit it and restarted. And this was a save that was intact. I had, as I say, you saw me digging bits of machine out. There was a lot more to that. There was a huge pile of stuff. So yeah, as you can see there, empty the bucket out because I was getting a bit clogged. And yeah, you just run down these runs all day. This is inverted strip mining, and as you can see, it's pretty lazy. But the idea here, being a single player game, if this game was multiplayer, I'd be playing with a mate right now probably, and we'd be multiplayer, dozer, dumper, loader, you name it. These conveyor floors probably wouldn't exist in this format. So yeah, it would become more roleplay. Really is more fun when it's done with more than one person, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, sorry children. So yeah, mining strip. This is inverted strip mining. It's pretty dull, let's be honest. It's strip mining. However, it's my take on how to make a mess of this game. And you do make a mess. A big mess. As you can see, when you curl the bucket forward, it just sprays material out everywhere, and then just down it goes, just like that. Good clean fun, all the way home. Getting out to where there was this weird thin little seam here. I don't know whether it's coal or whether it's lithium, but not lithium, platinum. I think it's coal. but we're going to have it out anyway. And as you can see, it didn't last long. So that cuts out an awful lot. I mean, I've just cut one bucket's width down here. It's been mainly pay dirt, let's be honest. But since pay dirt, rock, they both have to go through the first sorting drum. There'll be a backlog at the sorting drum of all of the rock that went through before this lot of pay dirt for a start. And whatever was left in there at the autosave point that had been collected by the conveyors. So yeah. There could be quite a lot backlogged in the system that I don't know about. But yeah, at least we're not at 1 frame a second, that's a good win. It was a little bit jerky walking around and filming. I haven't been over the footage of that incident yet. It may be put up as the cataclysm, because it was a disaster zone. "45 minutes at 1 frame a second of watching rocks go into conveyors. Or waiting for rocks to go into conveyors, rather. But entertaining. But yeah, don't use explosives en masse. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but you need machinery that can handle the explosives en masse accidents. Trust me on this one. And my machinery was not built for it at the time, so yeah. Just see if I can get rid of this lump here. Yeah, I can, good. Have that out straight away. Means I can extend these a little. If I can get most of it out. Avoid some clogging. Ugh. I have to respawn this machine. No. That was close. Alright. And down there, you can see that floor clogs instantly. That stuff lands on it, it starts to build up. So I'll just build these in. Take out and open all of that if I can. I don't mind the build up on the floor below because I'll just clean it out before I rip the floor out and job done. But that's later, and when I shift across to mining out on the other side, I'll probably deepen the drift before I start on the other side, because the other side's a lot narrower in the opening, so it's going to penetrate out into dirt again, and into what looks like a valley. But as you go deeper in, it gets wider, so it should all work out in the wash. I don't know whether this darker textured pay dirt is worth anything more than the lighter texture stuff, or whether this represents the gold and the lighter stuff's the other bits and pieces. Do know that the reddish hints that look like gems and rubies probably are. So if you see those bits, that's the place to dig for if you're a gem and ruby hunter. Jadeite. But currently I'm literally just carving into the walls, and that will be causing terrain generation down below. So I could just do a 180 at the end there, and sorry about a tap there. I went to scratch and forgot my mic was in front of my face. Yeah, I could just do a 180 at the end and drill my way back, or you can back up and just start again at this end. Which is what I'm going to do, because this is where the problems lie. Where this thick rock face is what's going to give me a problem eventually. I'll probably have to get the explosives out in a minute. And just do some limited blasting, Mr. JP. Don't lay it all out like before. And just blast a few small chunks out of this rock face. In an alternate reality, I'd be doing it already. That reality is probably going to become this reality in a few seconds, because I'm already getting frustrated with hitting the rock and it not disappearing into my conveyors. Yeah, that tunnel blasted through there was my last round of blasting. Definitely. I'd recognise it anyway. Excuse me there. High pollen count today, by the way. Nice little rock collapse. Let's fragment some rock. It was this kind of behaviour that got me in trouble last time, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. And others, I guess, these days. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, I have issues with those kinds of things. Not in any kind of political or opinionated sense, but more in the fact of remembering it and stuff. It just does not compute, unfortunately, and I forget. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, let's blast this thing. Enough of politics and social studies. Ugh. As I said, it does not compute. So yeah, I've blasted that out. We've got a fair amount of rock dropping down. That was only 30 bits of explosives. And you can see that the effect is pretty bad news. So yeah, maybe I will not publish the other video, because I've just done it again to myself here. So this machine is going to probably, yeah, and that's what happens. It builds up on the thing and... Right, I now know why my machine got clogged last time. Don't think it's going to happen this time though. So yeah, stuff is pouring out everywhere from that little situation. So those are the three important ones. Go to the map. Go up to the top here. As you can see, these three are now pumping pretty significantly and pretty convincingly. I got way too much money. Way too much money. Gonna have to find some roleplay way of spending some money on some machinery or something. So there's that little skinny thing there. Just let the autosave do its thing. Have a quick look at the map. So yeah, machines are parked over there. That's that big coal seam I'm into. The mine's about to here somewhere. Okay. So yeah, now it's a matter of clearing up what I just blasted. So in we shall go with the machine and just, yep, once again carve it down. because I've got some in the bucket, it's a bit resistant to the cut. As soon as you tilt the bucket downwards and start tipping bits out, it becomes a bit more resilient and goes through, and you can just cut big channels out. And cutting in this direction spreads it across all of the conveyors, so that means it goes into all of the machines sort of in parallel, and that's what gets you the speed of the processing, that gets you up the ranks. I mean, XP really doesn't mean much, profit really doesn't mean much now, but it does mean that I can get a bit more roleplay about stuff if I want and buy some machinery. Keep talking about it, I should really do it, but I keep on talking about building ships and Space Engineers with a mate of mine, and the creativity just isn't there at the moment. I don't know why. I think that's why I like Out of Ore at the moment. There's not much creativity to what I'm doing here. I'm just stripping out the map. But if you like massive profits, building massive machines and stripping out the map, this game is for you. Ooh, I've got myself really jammed in there. I see. Voxel again. Those little rogue voxels from the explosions can be very annoying. Likewise, little bits of rock left over and that kind of thing. Going over here where it's softer. Reminds me of those old adverts for tree balls. Don't see them anymore, but they were fun. Back in the days when adverts had to be made instead of animated. Guys in suits running around and stuff. Old school adverts are funny, they make me laugh. I do like the ones that haven't aged well. Make me laugh. Do make me giggle. Likewise, documentaries that haven't aged well. There's a few of those running around. A few things that are kind of terrifying that are becoming realities these days as well, which is kind of bad. Cold War come again kind of thing. But still, I suppose, if you remember the Cold War as a heyday, you might want it back. And in some ways it was, you know, great time to be a rocket or weapons manufacturer. Not such a good time to be a civilian. I suppose I shouldn't knock the most stable 50 years in Europe's history. That's the unfortunate thing about it. Mutual fear, no wars on the other countries for a while. Pretty interesting, really. But yeah, so once again I'm digging into rock, and that's annoying, so I'm just going to strip off what's been blasted again, as far as I can. Yeah, it's just a matter of keep on mining, really. Not much more to be said for it at the moment, until I come up with my roleplay plan. I'm working on it, by the way. There is a machine that I want to build that does things a little differently, and involves the use of a dump truck, which would be a good start, using another class of equipment. Though I have used the tunneler and I have used the roller, and I have used smaller loaders. I haven't really used an excavator much. I've been using the hand dig. That's what it's there for. And to be honest, for what I've been doing, the excavator is nearly overkill anyway. Talking about overkill, I mean this machine, this loader, the amount it can churn out, it's just like whack. Say goodbye to a rock wall. Do love the double roll bucket of straight with teeth as well. I'm still in an argument about which bucket type is best and what they're best used for and that kind of thing with myself. So yeah, I do know that these big machine buckets really do make a mess. Really do. Love it. Love it every time. Woof. It's eternally satisfying. Can't explain why. Things are getting dingy here. Ah, weather. There we go. So it's getting a little dark and it shouldn't be. I'm sure I set the clock back. As in the daylight length one. That spot's being a bit tough. Try a slightly different angle. Sometimes the angle you attack the voxels can be important. Certain directions which seem to align to the north, south, east, west of the map. You can meet like a solid piece of voxel that you just can't destroy. Most of the time it's alright. Tends to be in the stonework, obviously. Showing into the pay dirt is a lot easier, but of course the return is lower because some of it is dirt. Pay dirt, after all. Hence why I've got, I think, 1 million dirt stashed in my dirt box now. Possibly more. So yeah, we'll just go in at this. Sometimes letting a few stones build up like that on top of the rock can be useful because it makes it breakable. Like that. And it allows you to do the whole breaking it up thing quite effectively. Yeah, that's one of the holes from my last blasting. The back end of the vehicle kicking into the air is just me being an idiot. I'm getting the bucket wedged under the surface in front and continuing to raise it, and that's lifting the back end. It isn't a performance problem with the game or a handling problem with the vehicle. It's me being an idiot. Pretty much. Just so you know, it's operator error. Total operator error, all of that kicking around. Occasionally it's because I'm hitting voxels with the front of the machine as well, which is why you see me backing up and then going through what appears to be mid-air with the bucket for no apparent reason. It's sweeping out what's down here really, low down. You can see there's little triangles occasionally. I just destroyed one. It's still there, and they're left over from the explosives. Has my machine? Oh, fatal error. Game over. Sorry guys, I will catch you in the next episode.